welcome to TEChBrits. If you've been following what I've been up to this week, then you'll know I headed down to Gadget show live.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. In London this time rather than Birmingham. But this is their first Christmas event. It was on a bit of a smaller scale, so most of what we've already seen and covered in April was pretty much on show again.
Right.
So there wasn't much new there. Of course, there was a couple of things. The WiiU was there.
Yeah, we had the Wii U over at Eurogamer when we went there a few months ago now.
Yeah.
You had some interesting thoughts about the Wii U people
Yes.
in particular.
I think they need some more knowledgeable people on their stands, to be honest. Because of, first of all, I heard a customer asking whether the Wii U tablet controller had sensors in it.
Right.
And the bloke was like, I don't know, I'll have to ask someone about that. So I sort of strolled over, I was like, yes, well, you can tell by the panorama view, if you have a look over on this stand, that it does in fact at least have a gyroscope and some accelerometers in there. So, you know, not showing off or anything, but that is what you're there for, is to demo this thing.
Yeah.
And they had panorama view demos and stuff set up, so they should have some knowledgeable staff. Then I was on one of the games.
I like this one.
And the guy was like, so what do you think of the graphics? Aren't they amazing? How are they outperforming like PS3 and Xbox? I was like,
Honestly,
or do you want me to lie? They're pretty shoddy. To be honest. They're. I was gonna say they've caught up. They're just about catching up to Xbox and PS3 now, but that's just. But this console should last for the next few years, whereas they've just caught up, and now of course Xbox and PlayStation are ready for the next generation next year. Sorry. So, yeah, they're just well behind.
What was the thing the guy said about the tube?
Oh yeah, that was. Now I'm thinking about the funniest thing. He said that the great thing about this console is that if you're gaming and you're playing your console at home, then you can walk away from your console, which is fine, that's true, but you can only stay in your home. This bloke told me that I could walk out and carry on gaming on the tube or on the bus.
Well, I made a very good sort of excuse for this person. You could theoretically game on the tube if you had a TV. And no, actually, technically, you don't need a TV. If you had your Wii U console plugged into a socket on the tube, you could take it on the tube. And it had a Wi-Fi connection, which the tube does. You could theoretically do it, but I know what you mean. It is
exactly.
Is poor.
It's piss poor, to be honest, from to have such a knowledgeable staff and to push their brand new console, which I think is going to have a hard time anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed this in previous episodes. We both kind of think that the Wii U is really... We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, it is selling. People are buying it. We're going to have to wait and see whether it is really a massive sort of game changer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right, now I want to talk about sort of almost console related as well. Because I want to talk about the direction of like where Android is heading.
Okay.
Because I've kept changing my views quite a bit on Android, and I've sort of changed it again in that I think in the next decade or so, Android will be the main player in most things. Because you think of where it's going at the moment, you obviously have Android on phones, on tablets.
Yep.
They're catching up now, and they also have it on cameras. The Samsung Galaxy camera now. They have it on consoles. They got the Ouya coming out next year, about January. So really it's available on nearly every sort of major platform. I mean, on desktop, of course, they have Chrome OS, but maybe even Android will switch to desktop eventually.
Yeah, I mean, with Android being kind of how it is, with the whole, it's open, you can do pretty much anything with it, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they sort of... But what in terms of the market they're in at the moment, with the main market they're in, the phones and tablets, I don't think they're going to sort of go anywhere from there. But I think what could be interesting is if they kind of went into sort of kitchen appliances or, televisions and that sort of thing. I reckon, I do kind of see that Android could be the dominant, not necessarily on consumer electronics device.
Yeah, the thing is, you came straight onto that is the fact that it's open, it's very flexible, and they're sort of almost taking the direction that Windows Phone 8 are, that it's sort of the same experience now, sort of across where you use it. So it's easy to pick up. And if they can carry on that across other devices, like you said, maybe build it into home appliances.
I genuinely think within the next 10 years we will be seeing Android fridges and microwaves and stuff.
I can quite easily see that.
So yeah, that's sort of where Android's headed. Where do you think Android's headed? Or what do you think just generally in terms of sort of open OSs? And just let us know in the comments below, and if we find any that we like, we'll probably read them out in next week's show. Moving on, I want to talk about iTunes 11 very quickly, because iTunes 11 was finally released after being delayed. It is available on PC and Mac now. Obviously, I've got it on Mac. And I really like it.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about it. It's something I keep meaning to try out, actually, but I haven't.
They've got rid of sort of the side panel-esque view. It is now very reminiscent of the iPad app of the iPod. It does look really nice. Everything's kind of hidden away. So the left panel where you had music, apps, TVs, that sort of thing, is now a drop-down menu. On the right-hand side, you've got your devices, you've got your store button, and left, right, and centre, the first default view is just your album view, and it looks gorgeous. When you click on an album, it drops down the music, and it has this really nice thing where what it does is it picks the colour of the edge of the album cover.
Yeah, I've seen
and kind of blends it in.
That's cool.
One thing I think is really cool is iCloud support. Now, not everything you download on iTunes necessarily you keep, right? For one reason or another, maybe you run out of room on your computer or whatever. But if you don't have it on your computer, it still appears in your library with a little cloud icon, and you can actually just stream the song from iTunes without having to download it.
That's good. See, that's my main problem with iTunes at the moment, and with Apple, because obviously Apple changed the industry for music, and I was speaking about this with someone the other day, that they almost sort of dropped the ball in the way of just they've sort of fallen behind that. Obviously streaming services are what's big at the moment, what's growing. Obviously that's one market Apple don't have a foothold in yet. But of course paid downloads are still around, people do still buy songs, but I mean I'm sure that they must have taken a hit, so I'm hoping by the end of next year we'll see some kind of Apple.
I'm thinking just by this streaming sort of ability now, that it might be in the works and it might be coming very soon.
Yeah, it might be a hint. Of course, the iTunes 11 was delayed, wasn't it? How long was it delayed for?
I think it was a couple months. It's been delayed since
I've just been thinking about this now. Like, obviously with Forstall being fired and that, I wonder if I've decided to delay it a couple of months to make some of his own changes in there.
Maybe. Obviously, I didn't see iTunes 11. I didn't see it before it was released, so I don't know what it looked like previously. But it could, because like you can't really say I just put this in, and it's like has he?
I was going to say, and I mean a couple of months isn't time to obviously have a complete rework. But I'm just thinking sort of maybe there's more subtle design cues, maybe one the album art, like.
One thing that I think is actually a really nice feature that is kind of. It's very hard to get to, which is weird. Basically, when you play an album, if you want to play it in order, you just click on a song and it plays it in order. Yeah. But say you don't really feel like playing... If you want to play another song, but you're in the middle of a song, before on iTunes you'd have to just stop the song and play the next song. That's kind of your cue. What you can do now is you can actually... There's a cue now. It's a tiny little button that has like 3 lines on it that is kind of hidden away just in the play bar, in the bit where it has the scrubber, and you click on it and it drops down what's next, and normally if you're playing an album it'll just come up with all the tracks from the album, but if you want to play another song you literally just drag and drop into that thing and it will play the next one. You drag and drop onto your phone, you can just a lot of drag and drop mechanics have been added, like if you click on a song and drag it to the right, a right panel comes up with all your playlists, and you can add it to the playlist like that, so you don't have to like go into the playlist menu and then like go, the drag metaphors from the old ones are still there. It's a very nice design. Just generally.
It sounds like it's been very much modernised. It's definitely something I'm going to take a look at.
Have a look at, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
And that's iTunes.
Yeah. Now I want to talk to you, again, this is going to be a very Google-esque episode, but I want to talk to you about Google+.
Okay.
Because obviously it hasn't like sort of taken off to sort of a mass appeal. Like it has quite a good community, but it's a very select community. I think the Google Plus name holds it back. So I just think about, like, when, as an outside sort of consumer point of view, Google Plus to me, I think, would sound like an enhanced search engine. It sounds like Google Plus. So it sounds like almost someone's ripped it off and just
Google
sort of
Me?
Yeah, sort of something along those sort of lines. I think would just
Meagle?
Hmm?
I'm spitballing here.
Just gonna say,
Google, if any of these are used, I'm coming for you. No, I kind of see what you mean. Google Plus does sound like an enhancer. Like you got PlayStation Plus, you've got iTunes Plus. We had iTunes Plus. Yeah, no, I definitely sort of see where you're coming from. I think the reason they did Google Plus is because I think it was meant to be like a Google Plus sort of, because like they've got the Plus One as well.
Yeah, it was supposed to be more of a sharing sort of social experience, but I don't think it's a great name for the service.
I mean, they had, what was their old one? Orkut,
yeah.
Orkut. That was a terrible name, but that was like Brazil and Korea only.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to this new MySpace.
I am very much looking forward to this new MySpace.
Yeah. Right, just carrying on again with a bit more just sort of Android-esque news, but I'm moving it into Windows 8.
Okay.
BlueStacks. Now, this is an app for Windows 8 at the moment, which allows you to run Android apps, but they are looking to make this now for Windows RT. Now, Windows RT is obviously what's running on the standard Surface at the moment, the Surface RT. And what's sort of holding that back at the moment is, again, not many apps are specifically developed for Surface RT, the ARM version. So this will help you being able to run Android's vast library on your Windows RT device. So
giving it extra apps. So I mean, there's still not quite what people want in a way. Is sort of running Android apps on Windows RT essentially.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So it's a step in the right direction.
I was going to say. I mean, a lot of sort of apps are there already. It's good just until those gaps get filled. That are like glaringly missing, like things like Facebook and YouTube and all that. I mean, there's equivalents, but it's not the official apps yet. It's good to be able
well, sometimes
to
like we discovered with YouTube for iOS, it's not. Sometimes they're not the best. Like Jasmine is still my favorite YouTube app.
Yeah, that's very true.
Right, next, moving on, Tweetro.
Yep. We're following a trend here. So this is another Windows 8 app. But this is about Twitter. Now, as you know, lately Twitter changed their API rules, and we're only allowing a set amount of tokens.
Yep.
Now, Tweetro was free. They reached their token limit. They had to pull the app, which was free, as I said, and now released a paid version. So again, it's really affecting those third-party developers.
It is. I'm worried for Twitter. I really am. I don't think app.net is the right way to go about it. But I think Twitter is doing it wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
I think people want social to be free. That's kind of the whole, one of the whole sort of things to do with social is the fact that it's free and, you know, everyone's got it. If not everyone's got it, it loses its kind of characteristic.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's great. You do want a service that anyone can sign up to sort of whenever they want.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
Well, moving on, we're going to move away from your Google Windows Phone land and back to iOS, because an app came out for iOS recently which is absolutely gorgeous. The tweet I found this on basically said, for those of you who said skeuomorphism, why are people complaining about skeuomorphism? You haven't seen this app. And then it was a link to the app. I looked at it, I bought it almost instantly.
Is this the calendar app?
It is the calendar app.
Okay.
Here is Fantastical for iOS. Now, immediately you can sort of see what I mean by the skeuomorphism of it all. I love that word. I mean, it looks like a calendar. It looks like, you know, the actual calendar icon on iOS. And you can view your calendar in two different ways. The normal calendar view and this, like, day-by-day view, which is really nice. Now, one of the sort of selling points of Fantastical isn't actually how you view your calendars, but it's more when you add a new event. It comes up with just one box. And you can just tell it you just tell it what you want naturally, as opposed to having to fill out different boxes. So let's say I've got to meet Ryan tomorrow at 4. And then it'll make it, you know, meet Ryan tomorrow at 4. and basically tell it what to do naturally, and then you can just add what you want to the calendar. It pops in there, flashes a bit, and then your Meet Ryan is in there. Obviously, just delete it. You just swipe across and delete. One really cool thing I found was the fact that because this incorporates with iCloud, it will automatically sync with all your other devices. So that is Fantastical in a nutshell. You can be picking it up in the App Store now for $1.49, I think.
Yeah, that is a very gorgeous app. I was going to pick that up myself, but I think when I was looking at it, I didn't know whether it supported multiple calendars or not.
Supports multiple calendars.
That's a buy.
Yeah.
And yeah. Right,
that's
so
at least.
You had your little iOS a little bit there, so back to Windows again. But I'm actually going to sort of go against my Windows Phone 8. Yes, slightly fanboyism at the moment. But to prove that I am unbiased, I have got a list here of from a guy who sent me a list. Basically, he switched from an iPhone, and this is all the real problems he had with Windows Phone 8.
Go.
So, first of all, Facebook Contact Sync. So it's a very useful feature, being able to integrate with Facebook, put all your contacts in from that. But the problem is they cannot be fully removed, apparently. So that they're always there.
What if you don't have Facebook?
Then you can just not use Facebook, but you can't delete certain contacts. So if there's ones that you want
that's
in there,
a bit.
They're always there.
I was going to say that's a bit like iOS, but there is the option to not show them and just have your phone contacts, which I have on all the time.
Yeah, which of course this guy suggested that's what Microsoft should add in.
Yeah,
and I totally agree there. And also apparently there's no way to just add new contacts on a phone itself. It has to be linked to an account, meaning clearing out your existing Windows Live contact list, which would be a big problem for me because I used Windows Live mainly in its heyday when, of course, we were in secondary school, and I've got so many contacts on there that I would just click that I would want to get rid of them. I was going to say it pretty much means you'd have to delete your account and start a new one, or completely wipe your contacts and start again. So
it is kind of a give or take, like sort of a you do this or you don't get this type of thing. You know, you delete everything, or you have to use everything you lived with 90 years ago. Yeah,
exactly. It's quite hard, especially if you've got like things like Xbox Live profiles linked, like I have, all to the one account. That's a bit annoying. You also spoke about posting images to Twitter. Now, the Twitter integration is something that's sort of well hyped about Windows Phone 8. Of course, how it all links into your People Hub, so you can see all the latest status updates across Facebook and Twitter. But he was talking about posting images, and basically Microsoft automatically use SkyDrive to upload picture images.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's not always ideal. You either want to use Twitter's built-in image upload, or you want the option to use like TwitPic and.
Well, I've been having a lot of problems with iOS's post to Twitter and post to Facebook options. Just a lot of things they're just saying cannot connect to Twitter.
Really?
And stuff like that. I don't know whether it's just me.
I've not. That's actually one thing I've not had much problem with. Although I don't tend to actually use that post.
Use post to Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
Post to Facebook I don't use that much.
Yeah.
I use the in-app, which also doesn't work.
Yeah, I use it for things like YouTube and that sort of thing to share obviously our videos. Usually when they're live, I'll switch to the YouTube app, press the share via Twitter, and of course the nice little box pops down.
Yeah.
But that always seems to work fine for me. Now I think this would be the biggest problem with me. Apparently putting the phone into silent mode doesn't actually silence games.
Well, that's annoying.
So they carry on blaring out whilst it's on silent.
You can't play games in school.
No, I was going to say, the only way you have to do that then is also change the volume to 0. But yeah, obviously not just being able to. Well, it's easy on iOS being able to flick the silent switch and you're away.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things with the iPhone when it was first announced. When I saw it, it's like, this is silent mode. This is not silent mode. I was like, give me that now!
It's lush just being able to do that in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's great. And organising the music on the phone is difficult. Making playlists and having albums behave as albums and not singles by individual artists sometimes occurs.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah. No, I mean, they're sort of little gripes, but for a lot of people, they can be quite irritating.
Does this change your opinion in any way?
No.
I think now that sort of they're known gripes, I think Microsoft will probably fix them quite quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was a reboot issue with just handsets randomly rebooting. Fix for that's coming this month. They've announced. So, yeah.
Anyway, that is all I think we've got today for this episode of TEChBrits, leading up into Christmas, leading up into the new year. We've got a few episodes left in the pipeline for 2012.
Yep.
But I think just check us out on all our different links: Twitter, email, Facebook. You know where to find us.
Exactly. And any stories you want to submit for next week, then hashtag TEChBrits33. And
don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
And as always, we will see you guys next week. Ciao.